Good afternoon, world. It is moments past noon in Waxahachie, Texas, deep in the heart of the Lone Star State. And today is the 24th of March, and this is episode number 130 of Grit and Good News. We're broadcasting live from our palatial studios in downtown Waxahachie in the shadows of the historic Ellis County Courthouse. And I'm your co host, Jeffrey Lynch. At the board is our man, Sammy Brooks. And to my right is your friend, my friend, man about town, Scott Brooks.
Thank you, Bud. Welcome everybody to GGN. It is a beautiful Tuesday out there.
Super.
Probably 80 degrees. I was telling my wife the other day, I said, coming up from church, I'm like, 80 degrees and sunny, like it was on Sunday. Ideal.
When I
Perfect.
walked the dog in the afternoon, I could not believe it was 76. It felt like 82. It was
Really?
just
Yeah.
calm and sunny and
I just
beautiful.
love this weather because we're going to blink and it's going to be, 109. I follow three weather patterns. I know you think I'm kind of weird. Not that you don't already, but I follow three weather patterns. Waxahachie, of course, Buffalo, where I used to live. I just like to see what my friends are going
Sure.
through. And then my intrigue with the city of Barrow, Alaska. And on my weather right now, here's what it says. Those three cities are Waxahachie is 76. Buffalo is, take a stab.
Buffalo's got 41.
You're a Minnesota guy.
70 even.
33.
Ooh, ouch.
All right, let me guess Barrow. Barrow's going to be negative.
No.
Oh, yeah, negative 47.
What do you say, Jeffrey? Barrow is at
10. 10 above.
it's -7.
Wow.
The
Oh,
thing about Barrow is that it's on the most northern city in the United States. So it's way, if you went to go to Alaska
Hmm.
and go to the very, very top where the border of that lake, the Arctic Ocean, I don't know, Bering Sea, whatever it is, that's where it is. And 4,500 people live there. And it's -7 at the end of March.
Do you think here in town we need water or are we okay? Because
I
I
mean,
got a
water from a bigger issue.
No, I mean like rain.
Oh, oh,
How's
oh,
our
yeah. I
rain
mean,
been this year?
I don't know how it's been.
I,
Hey, Terry, welcome. Hey,
I thought it
Chuck,
was
good to see
so-so.
you, bud.
We were down to the lake this last weekend.
Yeah,
You can always tell by looking at they've all got metal seawalls around them.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
and there's different stain marks at different levels. You can tell the high water marks.
yeah.
I'd say we are down close to 3 feet from the high water mark.
Yeah, we
That's a
probably
lot.
well then we just anecdotally we probably do need weather. We do this show every Tuesday and Thursday, excuse me, right here from our studios, and we spend an hour from noon to 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. We have a few thousand people that watch us each show. Many, I don't know about, we don't know how many are local versus non-local, but we know there's a mixture of the two. So we try to talk about things that apply to everybody, but sometimes we do talk about things that are a little more local, and we hope that you will indulge us. The issue there is that what's going on in Waxahachie, which is a wonderful North Texas city. It's in a county that's one of the fastest growing in the country. But what issues we face are probably similar to the issues that other people face in other cities. When you do get to, the Northeast and get out west and, in the Chicago area, we don't face the same things, but we have issues here that I think maybe you can hear about and kind of find, at a minimum entertaining, but at a
Right.
deeper level, serious stuff. So let's just start with our normal stuff. And that's Sammy going out. This is number 130, you said?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
Sammy goes out with the number of 130, our episode number, and finds athletes who, in this case, were famous athletes, professional athletes who wore number 30. So he starts with football,
start with football.
right? And I know there's going to be probably a lot of them, but normally one or two come to mind right away. I don't say anything. So number 30 would be, I'm trying to think of the big stars, and I can't think of a one.
I knew one, but he's not very.
The Vikings had a running back. It's a big number for fullbacks, 30
Yeah.
and 20 for halfbacks. You got any fullbacks there?
No.
All right.
No, I'll start with Terrell Davis
Yeah.
Okay.
for the
Okay. Denver.
Broncos.
Yeah.
Clark Hinkle. He played for the Packers in the 1930s.
Okay.
Bill Willis played for the Browns in 1950.
Bless his soul.
Mark Van Agen played for the Raiders, running back. Ron Johnson for the Browns, and currently, I'm pretty sure he still plays Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard.
For the
Chuba Hubbard. He got traded, I think, to
he
Miami, or was he with
he
Miami?
was with the Panthers, I think.
Okay, yeah. So obviously, 30 is not a big popular number in
No.
football.
But
All
what
right,
about basketball?
basketball. We got the sissy boy Curry.
Best shooter,
Bring on the hockey pronunciation. Oh, we're getting there, Chuck. You'll be entertained, I'm sure.
best point guard ever. You got any other than Curry in them? Best point guard ever, Steph Curry. I'll start with him. His dad, Del
Oh,
Curry.
I was gonna say, yeah. Yep.
And I'll put Seth in there. He wears 32, but
We have
he's
not heard as
arguable.
much Seth garbage out of Sam lately, have
You
we?
mean Steph?
Steph.
Yeah, no.
Steph's the brother.
Yeah,
Seth's
see,
the brother. I've been focused on Coop.
Because they suck.
Well, they've been injured. Steph hasn't played since January.
Yeah.
I got Bernard King for the Knicks. I got
Yeah.
Rasheed Wallace
Yes.
for the
For
Pistons. Ben Wallace wore it for the Bullets.
And the Pistons.
Julius Randle, he still plays. He's playing for the Timberwolves. And then Kenny, they call him the Jet, right? Kenny the Jet Smith for the Rockets.
Yep. Yeah. Terry says Tommy Newsom, Cowboys fullback in the 70s. Way to go. Timmy Newsom.
fullbacks,
Timmy.
fullbacks,
Timmy
yeah.
Newsom.
Yeah.
Timmy. All right, MLB.
MLB number 30. Beltray. What's our guy's name? Adrian Bell. He wore 29, I think.
We just
He,
had him, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
This guy's one of the. He's not known for this number. He's one of the best pitchers.
Tom Seaver.
No. I got Nolan Ryan.
Oh yeah.
He worked for the Astros and Angels.
And I think for the Texas he wore 34.
Yeah. Tim Raines. He played for the
Okay, yeah.
Expos, I think, in 2004.
Base stealer.
Orlando Cepeda
Cepeda.
for the Giants. We got Willie Randolph for the Yankees. Ken Griffey Sr. wore it for the Reds. And our boy Jake Berger wore it for the White Sox. And he recently changed his number to 21.
He's our first baseman?
Yeah, for his daughter, because it's in awareness for Down syndrome, something 21.
Cool.
So that's pretty cool.
In a minute, Sammy's going to play a video about the Rangers, a real short bit. You'll love it.
All right, NHL. I'll just go ahead and start.
Wait. 30 is a goalie number, so I was
number.
trying to think of those goalies that
He had one in Pittsburgh.
Oh, one in Pittsburgh. I don't remember anybody but Marc-Andre Fleury. He was 29. But didn't Eddie the Eagle?
Eddie the Eagle wore
31, probably, or
31.
33. All right, Sam,
All right.
you ready, Chuck?
They're not that bad.
Okay.
Martin Brodeur.
Martin,
yeah.
Martin. For the Devils. We got Henrik Lundqvist.
Lundqvist.
There's no Q. That's a V. No.
His nickname is King Hendrick.
Okay.
King Henrik.
All right, I'll go to
King
Ed Belfour.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Eddie the Eagle.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Won the cup in '69 for the
Blackhawks.
Wild man.
We got Rogie Facon.
Rogie.
How you spell it?
Rogie. Rogie.
Chuck's loving it.
Vashon.
Okay. Sammy should write a book, Chuck, I think.
Vashon.
Here's how to pronounce hockey names.
All right, then we got Gary. I love this name. Gary Cheevers for the Bruins.
Sam.
We got Ryan Miller.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking of. Ryan Miller in Buffalo.
For the Sabres, yeah.
Yeah, and Gary Cheevers. Okay, the masks, when masks first came in for goalies, they were like, what's that Halloween thing where the guy has that?
Michael Myers.
Okay, that was patterned after. That's what goalie masks were. Okay, and he used to draw in a Sharpie or something, or he had it painted on. He had stitch marks every place a puck had hit his face.
That's funny.
That's where he would have stitches if he didn't have the mask.
That's cool.
Funny. All right.
All right, and then I end with Chris Osgood.
Yeah,
Chris
for the
got
Pistons.
So not really any
for
harder.
the Wings.
Wings, yeah. Pistons. Yeah, good, Sam.
And
that's it.
And Tom Barrasso, who came straight from high school and won Stanley Cups his first 2 years, and Tim Thomas from the Bruins.
Yeah, he was a good one. Yeah, they won a cup with him. I think.
Two cups.
All right, very good, Sam. Did he pass the test, Chuck? Sammy,
Yeah,
those were all easy.
Goalies,
I guess there's some goalies with tough names, but none of those.
Henrik Lundqvist. There's no Q.
I think is that German? Anyway, it's a hard name to say. Yeah, just call him King Henry. All right, so there you have it on our numbers. Let's talk about March Madness real quick. All right, so just for being transparent, which we always are on this show, the picks we came up with ended up with the well, we didn't get as far as the Sweet 16, so I won't even mess with what we picked the
Yeah.
other day. All right, but we're gonna fill out our second chance Sweet 16 bracket right here, right now.
Okay.
Are you ready?
We're
Duke,
ready.
Duke or St. John?
Duke.
Duke.
I got St. John's. St. John's at Scott.
Duke, baby, Duke.
Michigan State or UConn?
Michigan State.
Jeffrey? Michigan State or UConn?
UConn.
Jeffrey's UConn.
Mike Pizzo. Isn't that his
Michigan
name?
State, Sammy. Who?
Mike Pizzo, the Michigan State head coach.
You mean Tom Izzo?
Tom Izzo.
There you go. There you go, Chuck. All right, Iowa or Nebraska?
Nebraska.
Nebraska.
I've got Nebraska too. Illinois or Houston? They
Houston.
play in Houston, by the way.
Houston.
Houston.
All right, y'all got Houston. Scott's got Illinois.
Oh.
All right, Tennessee, Iowa State.
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I'm going to just say y'all and Iowa State, Scott. All right, Michigan or Alabama?
Michigan.
You
Bama. Go against the Big
attaboy,
Ten.
Jeffrey.
Go against the Big Ten.
Sammy, you want to rethink yours?
No, I have Alabama in my first bracket, but this is
okay,
second chance.
okay. Texas, Purdue.
Texas.
Horns.
Purdue. Y'all got Texas.
Somebody's got to go dancing.
Arizona or Arkansas?
Zona.
Zona.
Dad got Arkansas. All right, so then we have let's put here. Yeah. All right, so then we've got Arizona. We'll go with the majority picks, all right? So
Yeah.
Arizona or Texas. Oh, did you say Purdue or Texas?
Texas.
Horns.
All right, so Arizona or Texas?
Zona.
Zona, you
Oh,
final four?
we're going all the way
Yeah,
up
well,
there now.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so
Arizona or
Or
all right,
Texas.
or
I'll
Texas.
go Horns.
All right, I go Zona. So we'll pick Zona because majority
Majority.
2-1. All right, Michigan or did you say Tennessee?
Yep.
I said
Michigan or Tennessee?
Michigan.
Volunteers.
Jeff, why are you being a pain in the
Because
butt?
I don't want the Big Ten.
All right. Oh, I put it in the wrong place. Oh, Michigan. This is Tennessee.
Which is now the
okay.
Big 16, 18.
All right. So we have Nebraska or Houston?
Houston.
Cougars.
Houston. Do we have St. John's? And I'm sorry, Duke or UConn?
Duke.
Duke.
All right, Duke or Houston?
Duke.
Duke.
We
Nobody
have
can.
Arizona or wait a minute. Michigan or Tennessee?
Michigan.
Volunteers.
All right, Zona or one of those teams?
Zona.
Zona.
So y'all got, because I'll let you guys do this because I ain't taking claim for it. Duke and Arizona in the Final Four. Duke or Arizona?
You go.
Duke or Earls.
Duke.
Duke.
I got Duke win it all.
How many points total will be in the final game?
221. I mean,
No.
121. Yeah, 121.
That's low.
60 per. I'm going to go 75 and 75, 150. Go me 150, 160.
Sammy, you want to go again?
Yeah,
or no?
144.
Sammy's 144. All right, there we go. There you have it. Very good, boys. We'll talk about it
Alrighty.
next week. All right.
Nothing to it.
Rangers, Sammy, cue up that video. So the Rangers who break camp, I think they probably already have because they played they played Thursday night, right, Sam? Or Friday night? Thursday night, this Thursday night in Philadelphia, so I'm sure they're no longer in Arizona. But in one of the recent games, the new manager of the Rangers, his last name is Schumacher. I need to figure out which of those it is. Went to the mound to visit a pitcher. And usually, this pitcher had pitched a good game. There were 2 outs. It was late in the game. There was no reason for a manager to even come out. He wasn't in trouble, nobody on base. So the the manager steps out of the dugout and comes to the mound, and the pitcher's thinking, as he said, what is he coming out here for? Because
I'm
Yeah,
not
everything's
pitching
cool.
terribly.
And
Yeah.
so he gets out there, and this is what you see. You won't hear anything, but this is what you see. Oh, you do?
So Schumacher
There we
out
go.
there with a word for Baumler, and it looks like you get the sense, right, that he just let him know some pretty good news.
Yeah, I think he told him he made the team.
That was
Yeah.
great. The reaction from his teammates.
That's awesome.
What a way to do that. That is so cool. I guess, we don't know that, but that certainly looked like the conversation. Listen,
Okay,
Skip
that's
has
good.
to have
Was
all
that
those
Eric
difficult
Nadell again?
I think so. I thought we might have heard something on the mound from like some of the players. But there you have it. The coach went out, the manager went out there, Schumacher, and told the guy he was making the big league squad. That pitcher has never been above AA, so he's not been in AAA. And imagine that. What a thrill. I think he's in the low 20s. Yeah, I mean, what a thrill, what a thrill. Great way of doing it. Hats off to Schumacher for pulling that off. UFL spring football starts this weekend.
Oh boy.
So we have the they've made some change. Oh yeah, they changed the name from Arlington Renegades to Dallas Renegades. And so there are some new teams that have a professional, many new cities that have professional football team. Louisville's one of them, the Louisville Kings. Uh, there are others that have it. So I always like to just watch the first part of it to see what the teams are and what their logos look like and that sort of thing. So that starts this weekend.
So we got mediocre team playing in a great baseball stadium, meaning nobody's going to have a good seat. And don't we have a gazillion stadiums, high school football stadiums in this town that seat 20 and 30,000 people?
Well, I don't know, do we?
We do.
Yeah, but I don't know that those fields are being used. Same
What
time.
about Eamon Carter out at TCU? I don't know.
Well, they're being used. It's being used by TCU. So the baseball, the
Not
reason
for
they're used,
football.
huh?
They're not playing any football at Eamon Carter.
Oh, at the football stadium. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. I
Yeah.
thought you were at the baseball stadium, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe who knows? Probably the deal. Good deal.
Yeah.
And then we know that Iran and Trump, the progress is being made. I'm amazed. I don't know why. I don't know why. I am amazed by anything that comes from the left. And if you're from the left, explain to me why you guys can't just get on board and pull for America. But this nonsense about every dopey talking head I hear on the left has got to be saying this is a disaster. This is a forever war, and it's a bunch of BS. So, but if what we're hearing are accurate reports, then the Iranians, although they'll never admit it, are wanting to talk about how we can back off and settle this thing. The Straits of Hormuz is the big issue right now with the oil. But I'm telling you, when Trump says that, when he started out 10 years ago saying the false or fake news and the media is the enemy of the country, the mainstream media, I don't think there's any question but that it's a enemy of this country. All you gotta do is listen to them, and if you ever listen to them and then you walk away feeling like those are patriotic people, then hit me up with it. Let me know, because I don't hear it. I never hear it, and I'm tired of it, frankly. Tired of a lot of stuff.
I had my channel mistakenly on Sirius on 111, which is one of those new MS
Yeah, now,
substations.
yeah,
Piers Bronson,
yeah. Piers Morgan.
Piers Morgan. But wasn't he American Idol judge or something at one point?
No,
Am
he's
I
all.
thinking of Piers Morgan? Or
I don't know who you're thinking of, but he wasn't you're thinking of Simon Cowell, maybe.
no, not Simon.
No, Piers Morgan's never been a judge. He's British, from
British.
England, and he's always been in the media. I think he may have had a show at one point. And he used to be a far left, pretty significant left kind of guy, but now he's somewhere in the middle.
He was pretty solid actually, I thought.
About
But whatever he was
just
talking about, I don't
yeah,
remember what it
yeah.
was.
He's usually I think pretty good. Oh, America's Got Talent judge.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sonia.
I never
Yeah.
watched America's Got
For
Talent.
for a while.
So
You're the best, huh?
yeah, she is the best. So
Except
anyway,
my wife.
so we're gonna keep our eyes on what happens with Iran. I think it's fair to say that we've amputated that country in such a way that they can't do much. Before I get to the runoff races, you have some Tarnations or
Yeah,
other stuff?
I got a couple, two, three.
All right, let's hear it.
Let's talk about the Cesar Chavez statue going down quickly without a lot of public discussion, and it just was gone. And Cesar
He
Chavez,
was an activist for labor, farm workers, labor
he
unions way back.
he started the old UFW, United Farm Workers, which became the National Farm Workers, and he he co-founded it with a woman named Dolores Huerta, Huerta, who is now 95. And she's come forth and said about 60 years ago, she was um, sexually assaulted. The first time he kind of forced her into sex, and she thought she was going to lose her position that she worked hard to. And 60 years ago, women weren't doing prominent things. And the second time he outright raped her, she got pregnant both times. She gave up both babies to somebody that she thought could take better care of them. And at age 95, she says, "You know what? I'm coming forth, and I'm telling this story now." And um, it just seems like there was a rush to judgment on him. It's like so many of these things that we see where people make their allegations way late. And in this case, I think it is pretty well substantiated that she had the babies. Um, in California was the first place to have a Cesar Chavez Day on March 31st. In 2014, Obama made it nationwide on the March 31st. And then um, they put up this statue by Farmers Market, which would kind of make sense because of the farmers. And I mean, I don't know what to tell you. They named
Well,
a street after him too.
yeah, but your issue here is that they're wanting to take the statue down, or they already did?
They already did.
Yeah,
They already did.
recently.
Last
When
week.
those things those claims came out. You know,
Yeah.
the idea that it's like when we saw Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court go through it.
Yeah.
We saw uh what's the African American Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas. We saw him go
Hmm.
through it, what, 30 years ago at the hands of Joe Biden. And so we become, one on one hand we become such this indecent society that anything goes. On the other hand, when somebody, whether it's
Chavez.
Chavez or these other people that we see go through this stuff, where they're not given, there's no chance for them to speak. There's no, Cesar Chavez is dead.
Yeah.
So, but we take statues down. So it's a society of extremes, and usually the ones about taking statues down or changing street names or whatever is politically based. And I'm not. I think we ought to have all sensitivities to any woman that claims that.
Right.
But I mean, we're talking about a woman who's in her 90s now and 60 some odd years ago. I mean, and people are quick to say, well, we got to take a statue down. And I think it's idiocy at its finest.
Yeah. And the irony is that in 2020, when I wrote the poem that you'll hear today, Bronze History, it was mostly about Confederates.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it was mostly liberals complaining. And now you've got the Democrat. It's an about face where the Democrats are turning on their own, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, that's very true about Cesar Chavez. And I just think we leave statues alone. Just leave them alone. Just leave. It's like, how, if we think that everybody that we've honored other than Jesus, maybe Mother Teresa, but look at the adoration that popes get. Look at the adoration that rabbis get, that preachers get, that you name it. None of those people are perfect, and there have been plenty of examples of those coming out, those men and women coming out with things that they've done that are horrific. We got the
Right.
guy Gateway is still in. Well, he should be getting out of prison pretty soon. But everybody is a sinner, And for us to start running around with hatchets like we're going to cut down the next thing because of a claim, much less the truth. We don't know the truth of Cesar Chavez. I mean, I don't even know who this woman is. So w there's got to be a chance for people to just not chance, but chill out. I mean, taking down statues is absurd, and
Yeah,
anything that comes from that, simply whether it be renaming streets or renaming a a army base or schools or whatever else. I mean, the minute we start saying if you're not perfect, we're taking these things from you, it's we've passed that point.
I can't wait to read my poem. It's one of the favorite I ever wrote, and I think the first 4 lines may be the finest poetry written
Cool,
in the 20th century or the 21st century.
cool. Speaking along those lines, I do want to mention that in tomorrow's Sun on page one lead story is the story based on what we know, which I think we know from a news organization. The Sun knows as much or more than what others out there claiming who are running their mouth claim to know about what happened with Lane Grayson in the Ellis County judge position in the ballot. But tomorrow's lead story in the Sun, if you get a chance, you should read it. It will talk about what happened, what's going forward, what the expectations are, because Lane not only withdrew his name from the ballot, which leaves the default winner or the Republican nominee in the general election in November to be Cameron Rayburn, who I don't know much about. If I were to be like the people we're talking about who hear a claim and say, "Oh, I got to go take down a statue," if what I hear about Cameron Rayburn and the things he did in Ennis, then I would oppose his winning or his even being on the ballot. Uh, but I haven't spent any time with the guy, and I don't. I mean, I need to know more before I really know what we either gotten ourselves into or what the results
He was strong
will
enough to push Travis Smith to third.
yeah, well, I mean,
Okay, so
and I'm thankful for that because had Travis Smith been the one in the runoff, we'd be talking about having Travis Smith as our judge, and that can never, never happen, and it won't as long as I have anything to do with it. So, because Travis is one of these evil little guys who are out there running his mouth, acting like he knows what happened with Lane. He's actually, in my opinion, as I've said to Lane, he's pushed this slander defamation he's pushed this close to those sorts of things. When you start making claims based on things you don't know to be true or that you know are demonstrably false, you start getting into some quicksand that you're not going to get yourself out of. So anybody watching this that believes that you can rely on Travis Smith or anybody else out there uh, who has this narrative
vendetta.
that they created, particularly in Travis's case, but Travis got his butt kicked. He came in third. I'm convinced he thought he was going to win and there would be no runoff. So this is a guy who's bitter and angry, and he's coming out and saying things about Lane that simply aren't true. I've met with Lane twice since he did all this, and those weren't, how's the weather kind of meetings. Those were emotional, deep meetings of understanding and clarification and that sort of thing. And my hope is that Lane will come in here and be on the show. I invited him. I'm not going to hound him about it. It's totally up to him. But he's welcome to come in the show and we'll spend the full hour. But Lane's got a family, just like most people do. These people that go after people like Lane, who served this community for over a decade, never think about the family. Travis Smith, as he sits there in his little garage and makes a 15-minute video, is that he's as though he's the arbiter of what happened here. It doesn't think beyond his face about a lot of things. One of them is he doesn't think about Lane's family, and it's just unacceptable. So if I were Lane, I would bow up a little bit and have something to say about that. But Lane's got a different spirit than I do, and so Lane will handle this however he thinks he should handle it. But the idea that we just hear what's being said on social media, or that you hear what's being said on social media and assume it to be the truth, is that's absurd at its face. It's going to mislead you at its core. And so I say, don't do that. There are reasons why Lane withdrew from the race. Had Lane uh, been presented with the things that he was presented with in the last week of the campaign, then this may or may not have taken sooner, or taken happened sooner than later. So there was no timing uh, plan on Lane's part. I can tell you, having met with him, that it was shock to him and troubling. So uh, we'll see what these news hounds, quote news hounds, think they can dig up, but we will be holding them to the truth, no doubt. And doesn't matter to me if you're a public official like Smith or if you're somebody else who's out there just trying to tear good people down. Uh, it can't happen. It's happening too much in Waxahachie. But that that race for judge will result in Cameron Raber being the Republican nominee, which means he'll most likely win, if not hands down, certainly close to it, in November. It also means that Lane has resigned his position as Commissioner of Precinct 2. That Precinct 2 is under a runoff election right now, which will culminate with the results. The end of the runoff is May 26th, at which time a new commissioner for Precinct 2 will be named. The two that are running are John Paul Deneen, and Matt, and I'm sorry, Matt, if I say your last name wrong, Zajic, I think. I may have that all wrong. But I've known John Paul for a long, long, long time and think really highly of John Paul and uh, think he would make a great precinct commissioner. Or commissioner of precinct 2. So there you have it. But to fill Lane's position, the way this works is that the county judge now, John Ray, will he has full authority to name when Lane resigns on May 1st, because he could hold the position until the end of the year, because he's the commissioner until then. But since he's resigned, John will name a new one, uh, a new one to fill out that term. And my guess, John hasn't told me, but my guess is it would be whoever wins this runoff. We just, instead of
Yeah.
getting the job January 1st, we get the job on May, whenever it is, or June
Yeah,
1st, maybe.
particularly for people who aren't from here. When you hear judge, you think of the courtroom and in the legal part, but it's essentially the guy that runs the county is the judge around here.
Yeah, in places I've lived, it's been called the county commissioner, the county executive. It's really the like the CEO of the county, if you
Yeah,
will.
see, yeah.
That's what's going to happen. But I would just say to those of you out there that get your kicks from watching and listening and reading social media. It's social media is part of our lives anymore. But when you hear the drama coming from a guy like Travis Smith when he sits in his garage after hearing that Lane has withdrew from the ballot and these things are starting to unfold, Travis automatically just sits down, does a 15-minute video, and gives you the drama of a lifetime and thinks he knows what's going on. He doesn't know what's going on. He thinks he knows what's going on, but there's far big and far difference between knowing what's going on and thinking you know what's going on. So don't rely on that. I mean, I see people comment that, well, you should have been in there, Travis. You should have won this and blah, blah, blah. The lack of vetting and
Should have been, could have been,
scrutiny
votes are votes.
is scary in this community, and we need to fix that. All right, Sammy, oh, did you have something else?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep this one quick. There's a guy named James Broadneck's been in Huntsville for quite a while. He's had his execution date changed many, many times. He's been fighting it, and it just now happened that there were two guys, James and his cousin Demarius Cummings, and they had been in a robbery, and they got a total of $2 and a 1995 Ford. And what happened was his cousin was talking to the lawyer, the guy, Broadnex, and he found out that the execution date was set for April 1st or April 31st. And he came forward and he says, "You know what? I've been holding this in so long, but I got to tell you, I'm the one who did it. And I want to confess." And what he has said essentially is that the two of us were in on this together. I bought the gun, I pulled the trigger, but this is tough because we knew that I had previous convictions and he had a clean slate, that I would get off and he would get the death penalty. And because I had a clean slate, we let him take the rap. And after all these years, he said, "You know what? I got to do that." And he closes by saying, he often expressed he couldn't bear to live anymore. They talked about some of the troubles he's been through. And They might as well give me the death penalty. What am I living for?
Yeah.
I don't want my life. Pick one vein. If they don't, I will.
Yeah, I mean, you kill somebody, but you pin it on somebody else. At some point, that burden of grief, not grief, that burden of guilt and shame is I would imagine too much to carry and to live with.
Murder was in 2008.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
a long time to carry that,
Sonia
man.
and I just watched the series. Now I can't remember the name of the dang series, but it was about a guy who let somebody else take the rap, and it was pretty dramatic thing. And I don't know how people do that. That's crazy to me. I want to mention Chuck says our country needs better local Republican leadership to help fund the best candidates to run, no doubt. I think Chuck says I think we're taking a step backwards. Look, I endorsed a new guy, didn't really know, but I thought he'd be better than the chair. The current GOP who's been the chair for far too long. That's Randy Bellamy. Uh, JJ Brookshire came close within a couple of 300 votes, but Bellamy won again. The Republican GOP, the GOP, Ellis County GOP, is a mess, and those of you in it aren't ever going to agree with that. I understand, but that's part of why you're a mess. Because I don't think there's much or any self-reflection, and it's a shame. But it's a mess. The Democrat Party, although I strongly disagree with them and they with me, is far better run, and it's not as big. But if it were bigger, it'd be run the same way. But right now, the GOP here in this community is it's a Keystone
And
Cops.
when you say that, remember this: the people who are members of that are the smallest subset of people who identify as GOP.
Yeah, that's part of the problem is that when you look at the GOP online or you watch them, when you see groups that call themselves Ellis County conservatives act like fools, that's not what conservatism is, and that's not how those of us who take it serious want to be represented. So there needs to be an overhaul of the GOP here. And frankly, I'm going to be meeting with some folks later in the summer to say let's figure out how we do that. Uh, so anyway, there you have it for some local stuff. Let me, Sammy, I want you to play a video. This is of John Kennedy, the senator from Louisiana. This has to do with TSA. As you know, TSA is losing employees by the hour because they're not getting paid because the left, the liberals, the Democrats in Congress in the Senate primarily have shut down DHS funding. So airports are a disaster, have been. ICE is beginning to help out, and that's created a whole new wave of hysteria. But this is a plan I thought you would appreciate hearing. You're gonna feel the anger. You'll see some anger, hear some anger from the senator from Louisiana, Kennedy, about I don't know if it was a co-author or a co-sponsor of the bill, but this is his idea to remedy how Congress deals with entities within government that aren't getting paid. This is how he thinks that can change. That's him. Yeah. So go ahead and play that, Sam.
Senator Schatz told me, we had a conversation last night, said he was going to object. I respect that. And if he has left the building, I don't want to go behind his back. I mean, I could move to reconsider and blindside him, but I don't want to do that. So why can't I move to reconsider subject to us waiting for Brian to get back so he has a full opportunity to be heard? Can I do that?
There's no such motion.
Sure there is. I just made it.
Sammy, pause that real quick.
Are you saying that the motion's out of order?
Let me just tell you real quick. Sorry for interrupting, but John Kennedy, and I can't remember now if he's actually going to talk about it here on this video, but he's made a proposal that says this is only for the Senate, so this is only for senators, that if the Senate is responsible for shutting down any part of government, and they always will be, that's how the procedures work. And in this case, by example, TSA does not get paid, then no senator gets paid either. Now, he may say it here, but TSA agents, when this is resolved, they go back to work and are put back on payroll. They will get all of what they are owed during the time in which they weren't paid, and so would a senator. But the idea that senators get paid, or even House of Representatives get paid, despite or regardless of what they do to any department in the government, meaning any during a shutdown, doesn't matter if They get paid no matter what.
Are you saying that the guys that called in sick, when they come back?
Well, I don't know. Those are different stories. I'm talking about the ones who, yeah, I'm including those, but that may be handled a little bit differently. But those who didn't get paid for the time for which they were on the payroll at TSA
Mhm.
during this shutdown, they, for whatever time they didn't get paid, they will be paid eventually. And so that would happen to senators. But what Kennedy is saying is, so as to add some urgency and some pain to the people making these
Right,
decisions,
right.
make the rules apply to them. So that there's the context. Go ahead, Sam.
Look, this is a serious matter now.
Yes, it would take unanimous consent.
This is a serious matter. Now, we've established that this resolution doesn't affect the House. It just says to the senators, while we're in a shutdown, no senator is going to be paid. You don't lose your money. You pick it up after it's over, after the shutdown's lifted. This went through the Rules Committee unanimously. Did I mention it went through unanimously? That every single Democrat and every single Republican said, yes, Kennedy, let's do this. And if a member of this body disagrees with what I'm doing, then by God, they ought to come down here and stand up in front of the United States Senate and stand up in front of the American people and stand up in front of God and stand up in front of country and stand up in front of all these people, these good people that aren't being paid, and say, here's why. Senator Schatz told me we had a conversation last night.
There you have it. He's, you know, people will often say to me or write to me and say, thank you for saying what it is we feel and want to say, but can't. He's saying in the Senate what a lot of people in this country want to say. It's just awful that any elected official that determines that any group of people in the government don't get paid, but that the people making that decision don't result in have any pain themselves. They continue to get paid. That ought to change. It's got to change. It's wrong. It's morally, ethically wrong, in my opinion.
And he has nothing to do with the Kennedy family
No, he
of
doesn't.
Massachusetts.
He doesn't.
Or the man killed in Dallas.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. I want to show you 3 videos. This has to do with the Air Canada crash that happened at LaGuardia today, Tuesday. It must have been Sunday night, about 9 or 10 o'clock, somewhere in that neighborhood. So most plane crashes in this country, in the world, happen either on takeoff or landing. Chances of you having a plane crash while you're soaring away at 35,000 feet are slim to none. Although it has happened, rare as it may be, but it has happened. So most things happen when you land or you take off. In this case, it was a 70 some odd person occupied airplane, and it's landing in LaGuardia in whatever, nothing bad, no real bad weather, probably a little bit cold. And as you've already heard, had a problem, and it all resulted because of problems or challenges in the air traffic control unit or tower. So I wanted to, these are 3 videos. The first one sets it up for you. The second one kind of diagrams it for you. And then the third one shows you the actual event itself. So go ahead, Sam.
One of the things that stands out there is that plane inverted as it's sitting there. We believe that occurred during the evacuation as the center of gravity shifted as people were getting off the plane. Why that happened will certainly be part of the NTSB investigation. But let's talk about what this controller was doing. It appears this controller was juggling an awful lot of things by himself. The NTSB will want to understand, was he working alone in the tower last night? You had this United flight. It was taking off. It aborted its takeoff because of a warning light in the cockpit. The pilots then radioed the tower saying there was an odor in the cabin and they needed a gate. The controller then started working to try to get them a gate, was making phone calls. You can hear that in the recording. Then the pilot comes on and says, this odor has gotten worse. I have flight attendants reporting feeling ill. We are declaring an emergency. Please send fire trucks, and we may have to get off this airplane quickly. He was dealing with all of that, trying to get equipment to that airplane, get that airplane in a safe spot. While all that's going on, There's other activity going on around this airfield that he's managing, including clearing that fire truck to cross runway 4. Guys, it was only about a second or two before he realized his mistake and tried to stop that truck, repeating, stop, stop, stop. It just didn't happen in time. The NTSB is going to want to understand what the fire truck could see. Were they able to see that airplane bearing down on them? From the sake of the pilots, there wasn't a lot they could do. They had just landed. They were slowing the plane down. It was still going about 24 miles an hour, we believe. One of the things that stands out there is that plane.
This next one is the diagram, just you'll see, it's a diagram of what the lay of that airport, that runway, and what was happening.
Stop truck 1, stop. Stop truck 1, stop. Jet 646. Jet 646, I see you collide with a vehicle there. Just hold position. I know you can't move. The vehicles are responding to you now. Call us back in 10 minutes. There's been an incident on the field. The airport's closed right now. Frontier 4195, I got the word that we're going to be closed for a little while. If you want to prepare to return to the ramp, let me know.
Yeah, we got stuff in process for that, man. That wasn't good to watch.
Yeah, I know I was here. I tried to reach out to my staff, and we were dealing with an emergency earlier, and I messed up.
No, man, you did the best you could.
All right, yeah, I was informed that the airport field's going to be closed for a while.
Yeah.
So
there you hear the air traffic controller himself say that he messed up, and you know, I don't know about you guys, but when something happens, my first thought isn't to go, well, who did it? Whose fault is it, to try to, you know, with limited information, identify the blame or the perpetrator, if you will. In this case, this guy is saying basically what, if I can paraphrase, if you don't mind, that he was dealing with that first instance where the plane had some odor in it that was causing people to get sick. It was getting stronger, and they needed to get back to the gate. So he was dealing with that. That's the emergency he says he was referring to. That's what the emergency he was referring to. And when the emergency vehicles were headed back to the gate or back to the terminal as well, is when things got away from him, and he said, "I messed up." And can you imagine the grief, the burden of that? Thankfully, although it's weird to say thankfully, but the two pilots, I've seen pictures of them, read a little bit about them, both young men, both died. And when you see this, you'll maybe understand why. So this last one is the actual footage of the jet hitting we'll play it twice, but hitting the fire truck. And then I want to share something with you about how the amazing thing about the actual impact point. So let's play the hold pause. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so there you see it. You just heard the guy in the first video. I think he said it was going 24 miles an hour. It's not very fast. Those wings are filled with fuel. I know Chuck knows that, and from his experiences in the military, but most of us should know that that's where the fuel in an airplane goes. So it doesn't take much for an explosion to occur. 24 miles an hour certainly was enough. And in this case, it was enough to kill two pilots. The cockpit of that airplane was obliterated, essentially. And even one of the flight attendants was in her jump seat or whatever they call that, right behind the cockpit. She was thrown from the airplane, but survived. So there were 70 some odd people on that plane. Two perished. Both were the pilots. Where it hit, those are big, long fire trucks, not the type we see running down the street here. They're longer, and they got a lot more equipment on them. Because that airplane sits lower to the ground, which is why the cockpit hit the side of a vehicle. Normally, you think of it be higher, but it hit it in the middle of the plane's nose, hit the middle of that fire truck, so that no wings were damaged. You could see it at the end. And you've seen pictures of it since. It just sits there, no damage to anything but the cockpit. And he talked about it leaning a little bit the way we see pictures. That's because of people jumping off the plane and sliding down. But it's an awful tragedy. And the reason I bring this up to you is because really the moral of that story is anything can happen any time, and we need to be grateful for every breath we take. The other is that um, that there are people lost, two young men lost their life, and one ostensibly young man, sounds like a young man, and the air traffic controller is going to carry this burden for a long, long time. So we'll see how this unfolds. But it's a tragedy unlike others, because I don't know, Jeff and I were talking about in prep, that I've ever seen a jet hit a
Yeah.
vehicle.
Right.
So there you have it. All right, what do we got for our poem today? You were talked about it already, but let's hear it.
Yeah.
Jeff's digging for something.
I need to get a poem song.
You need to get a what?
Intro to poem
Oh,
song.
yes, you
Yeah,
do. You
that'd be
should work
good.
on that. All right, let's hear it.
This was written in the tumultuous times of 2020 when the world was upside down. It's called Bronze History, July 9th, 2020. Ode to Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451, written in 1953. Just savor these first four lines. Statues are really books unread. They show us all the words unsaid. No longer a questionable mystery. They give us a beautiful bronzed history. It's okay if the subject was bad, even better if it makes you mad. We just need a big plaque to bring the full story back. Let all who then read understand the terrible deed. We must learn from our past, not topple or blast. Don't let books be the next thing to go. We'll lose all the great things we know. Read Fahrenheit 451. Look out, it's ready to come. Better read it again. We're about to be them. I'm growing scared to write anything. Watch out for the growing left wing, lest I ever offend, with no chance to defend. Then, when thoughts are no longer legal, kiss goodbye to your almighty ego. If we forget all of our past, this nation has no chance to last.
Yep, very good.
Thank you.
Oh,
Mm.
I remember Rodney King in 1990, subsequent to that 1992 riots in Los Angeles. He was famous for saying, he's famous for other stuff too, but famous for saying, "Can't we all just get along?" And I wish we could all just get along. I would love to, despite my uh, being on the I don't know what the not proud certainly, because I wish I didn't have to write about some of the things I write about, but uh, being in combat, as it were. I don't know how we do that. How do I get along with a guy named uh, James Tallarico, who's so fundamentally different than I am in terms of our beliefs? How do I get along with people who believe that abortion is okay? And how do I get along with people that believe illegal immigration is not a big deal and it's all right? And so when we hear things, and Jeff is a great poet, when we hear things like this about the things that go on, it just make it worse. There's no end in sight for me. And if I had that magic bullet, I mean, I can do things here in my own city, but right now it's in protecting this city, and in protecting this city, there have to be fights that have to happen. I wish it weren't the case, but when we have people like some I mentioned earlier, or who, for self-serving reasons, are willing to take the city down, either because of bitterness or self, arrogance or what have you, just can't let that happen.
And this Cesar Chavez, it'd be kind of hard to write a plaque after the fact about the whole situation. But all these other statues that went down, instead of taking them down, you get a group, it'll be a contentious group writing these words for the plaque, but let's understand what happened
Yeah.
instead of getting rid of the history.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
Let's
If
define it.
not the entire problem. People that want to take these statues down probably don't know anything about Cesar Chavez.
And you know why it's mostly died down until this? Because most of the most of the statues are down.
Yeah,
Really.
well, I know Trump has put some back up, but anyway, all right, day in history. Let's do it.
Okay, German scientist Robert Koch announced in Berlin that he had discovered the bacillus responsible for tuberculosis.
18 25.
1902.
Split it in half. 1882.
Ah,
Tell me if you ever even heard of this. The Women's Olympiad, the first international women's sporting event, began in Monte Carlo, Monaco.
Nice.
1950.
30.
21.
Uh,
Catholic Archbishop Oscar Arnulfo Romero of El Salvador, an advocate for the poor and the oppressed, was shot and killed as he celebrated Mass in San Salvador. Pope Francis would declare Romero a saint in October 14th, 2018. Not when he declared a saint, but when was he killed?
he was killed in 48.
58.
80.
Oh my
Wow, we
goodness.
jumped.
Okay, this is famous. The supertanker Exxon Valdez ran aground on a reef in Alaska's Prince William Sound and began leaking an estimated 11 million gallons of crude oil.
That was horrible.
They had
Um,
that oil all the way down the Pacific coast. People were
killing
trying
all
to
those
save all their
and
wildlife.
so bad. 1986.
1998.
89.
Yes. I
Nice
knew we
try.
weren't
I'm
jumping
0
there.
for 4. I was undefeated the other day. Now I'm 0 for 4.
It can be a tough start. NATO launched airstrikes against Yugoslavia in a campaign to stop ethnic cleansing, marking the first time in its 50-year existence that it attacked a sovereign nation.
2000.
2009.
99.
Yes.
Sam's all over it.
I'm getting smoked.
German Wings Flight 9525, an Airbus A320, crashed in the French Alps, killing all 150 people on board. Investigators said the jetliner was deliberately down by the 27-year-old co-pilot.
2015.
2018.
The bonus is in effect.
Let's go.
A UN war crimes court convicted former Bosnian Serb leader Radnov
Radescu.
Karadzic, Karaddzic, of genocide and 9 others charges for orchestrating a campaign of terror that left 100,000 people dead during the 1992 to 95 war in Bosnia. Not when we know when the war was.
Yeah. When did he?
When was the war crimes?
2021.
2022.
16.
Okay.
1 year.
And we're done.
That's it.
5 and
2
2.
and 5. Holy Moses. All right. What true facts that sound like BS or are they actually false? True or false? It is impossible to finish an NFL game with negative passing yards. It's impossible.
No, no, it's not.
Well, how could you end with negative passing yards?
I'm gonna go true, and I'll tell you why.
You
Yeah.
can throw it like to the side of you, but if they get tackled, it's negative yards. And if you get hurt the next
You can have
play,
a play where there's I mean, if you get hurt, I guess anything can
I'm
happen.
saying yeah.
All right, you're saying
Or
it
can happen.
can happen. You're saying it can't happen.
No, I'm saying it can happen.
Okay. True or false? It is impossible to finish an NFL game with negative passing yards. You both are correct. Since sacks count as negative
That was
passing
the next thing I
yardage,
was gonna bring up. Yeah.
and players can run backwards after catching the ball,
Yeah.
it has happened multiple times. The lowest passing yardage total in history came in 1967 when the Denver Broncos passed for minus 57 yards
Ooh, that's a bunch.
against the Oakland Raiders.
Oh my gosh.
Our sponsor of Great and Good News is or are our friends in Italy, Texas, Hoosier Custom Meats, HOOSER Custom Meats. Sammy has it on the screen. You can see the phone number there. I don't have to keep saying it, but go to HoosierCustomMeats.com. You will find everything that you could want in terms of farm raised, good, juicy steaks and beyond. Man, it makes me hungry right
Texas
now.
beef, and remember our conversation, the last show about our man Talarico, and
Oh yeah, he's vegan.
about the vegan, and boy,
Very right.
that sure
Yeah,
is a
yeah, he was. Yeah, it's. I don't know about being vegan. I wouldn't last a day. Let me before we close. Terry says Duke. I think Terry's saying Duke will win the Final Four. Are you, Terry? And Chucky's saying Duke win the Final Four, and the final game will be a point total of 140.
And that's how
We'll
our
see.
I'm excited.
I'm telling you right now,
I'm so excited.
put your money on Illinois.
Name one person on Illinois.
I don't know anybody. I don't have to know them.
Eaton Wagler.
Who you like Arkansas, right?
Darius Acuff.
Okay, besides him, name one. And the only reason you know him because he's in the story today.
No, I've been following
Okay,
him.
okay, Goober. All right. Thank y'all for being here. We'll see you on Thursday, Jeffrey. All yours.
Have a great day and try to put a smile on somebody's face today. Boom.